CED, we acknowledge every day we're incredibly lucky to work where we work and have the opportunities to work on the projects we do. In 2020, we have worked on over 90 development projects in a broad range of industries. As you might imagine, 2020 has changed the economy a little bit, and we've seen a lot more emphasis on supply chain, diversity of supply chain, data centers, and commodities manufacturing. And so it's been an interesting year from that perspective to see how projects have pivoted and shifted, but how the emphasis on growth remains in Will County. And we'll talk about that more as we go forward. Just a very brief by the numbers. Total investment in the county this year is, again, well over $1 billion, which is just an extraordinary number. Will County job growth, latest data shows us up 1,600 jobs year over year. This is lower than what we've seen in past years, but extraordinary this year. Will County, in the middle of a pandemic, to see job growth here while the nation is still down about 7% in jobs from the January peak, is really something, and we're very proud of that. New leases around the county, a little over 10 million square feet. At this point in the year, I do expect a couple more deals as the year goes on. And we currently have 7 million square feet of projects that are under construction as well. And when we talk about some of these larger projects, we always like to highlight some of the larger transaction activity from the last 12 months. I won't go through these item by item, but you see 7 separate million-plus square foot projects here in Will County just over the course of the last 12 months, either underway or occupied. I feel like every year the CED shows up with a list like this, and it maybe becomes something you've become accustomed to seeing, but I think it's important to stress, and we'll talk about this a bit more later, these things are just not happening anywhere else. Will County continues to be a unique growth engine for Illinois, and it's something that we're proud to be a magnet for these sorts of projects. And certainly, as we talk about these projects, there are a few more that I'd just like to highlight. I'd like to talk about, and I'd like to start with one that we actually talked about at this event last year, Jackson Generation in Elwood. This project is one of the largest by investment in the state of Illinois, and potentially the largest foreign direct investment we've seen in the state of Illinois. It's well over $1 billion all by itself. A 1,200 megawatt natural gas fired power generation facility. If you've been out to the site, they've been cranking since mid-year last year. They're doing a great job and still on pace for a Q2 2022 startup. But my favorite thing about Jackson Generation is I was talking to their team this week. Kiewit is running the development on it, and both Kiewit and their inspections team have commented that the area workforce that they've seen on this product is the best they've ever seen. Very high quality work product, very low rework, and incredible engagement from our labor force community. Comments like this are so incredibly meaningful. I can't stress enough as a development professional how helpful it is to know that we have the labor force right here in Will County to build anything. These are incredibly complex projects, difficult to pull off both at the front end and as you go through the process. And to hear that kind of feedback is so heartening. It's exciting, and again, makes us proud to work where we work. So I'm happy to be able to report that. Other projects underway for new construction, it would be impossible to talk 2020 without talking about Amazon. Amazon has continued to grow their footprint here. These are 2 new builds. Both of them, the developer was Venture One, the builder Clayco, both of whom are friends of the CED. The top building is their new facility in University Park, opening in the summer of 2021. And that one has 800 plus new jobs. The bottom one is the one in Channahon that opened this summer, 1,000 plus new jobs in that facility. And with the addition of these 2 facilities and the 2 that they leased this year, Amazon is now up to 11 facilities in Will County, totaling more than 7 million square feet, and certainly remain our top employer. The 2 new leases, so 4 total new buildings for Amazon this year, they took what was known as Building Charlie at Ely and Logistics Park 55 in Wilmington, This was a new spec building. They took this on as a grocery delivery facility. As you might imagine, again, story of 2020, e-commerce and in particular grocery delivery at home, especially early in the year. I want to say Amazon called in early April on this building and asked us about it. And by May, they were in there trying to operate and get groceries out to people in the Chicago region. It is truly extraordinary operation for those guys. What can I say about Silver Cross? The campus at Silver Cross continues to grow. On the top right, you have Pavilion D, which opened in March of this year. And Pavilion D is burned in my mind for another very 2020 reason. Their ribbon cutting was scheduled, the date is stuck in my head, for March 24th. And I can remember looking at that date and wondering, are we going to have this? Are we going to have this? And, the leadership group at Silver wisely decided to not have that event as things started to heat up. But it was the first real, big event building project that was impacted by this in Will County. And we certainly remember that, but boy, was the timing great. As they expanded and added an urgent care facility and added medical office capabilities and continued to grow. And of course, you see on the bottom, if you've driven past the campus, they've got walls on this now. I was driving past the other day, but their major expansion for the hospital footprint, 30,000 square foot expansion for their cardiac unit, and for Will County's first level 3 neonatal intensive care unit. Again, Dr. Livingston mentioned our healthcare folks at the top. They've been extraordinary this year, both in managing the needs of the community, but also in growing and positioning us for future care. So great job by those guys. Harbor Freight in Joliet. This was another multi-year project. This was one built within the CenterPoint footprint by Clayco. $150 million in new investment and 270 plus new jobs in that facility. Ovation Center in Romeoville, a very cool project. Credit to Barry Kolanowski and the Senior Services Organization. These folks are taking the opportunity to repurpose an existing building in Romeoville and really continue making positive impact on the lives of seniors in Will County. So congratulations to them. Just a great job. They had a groundbreaking this fall and plan to open next summer. So that's an exciting project. Quad Plus in New Lenox. This is one, our partners in New Lenox and at Northern Builders. Credit goes to Matt Grasecki on this one with Northern helping to pull this deal together. A new corporate headquarters here in Will County, 52,000 square foot building. Quad Plus is an international company that works in automation system integration and engineering, which is a mouthful, but what it means is they support a lot of the industry that is already here in Will County. The new office includes their leadership staff, manufacturing, engineering, testing facilities, and 130 jobs in Will County. So they opened this year. I'm very happy to have them with us. Rock Run Crossing and Cullinan Properties. We'll talk a little bit more about this later when we talk transportation, but how exciting that this project continues to go forward. Cullinan has done a spectacular job pushing this along, and this very large planned mixed-use development would certainly be a game changer at 55 and 80. One that has been in the works for some time, but has real momentum with the project that will kick off next year. SRC Logistics in Joliet. This is a deal that was in market for a long time as one of the big 3 auto manufacturers looking for a national hub for their remanufacturing processes. Credit to the Jones Lang LaSalle team. We worked with them in the city of Joliet to help bring this deal here to Will County. They've been ramping up and hiring here in the last couple months with a formal planned opening in 2021. Another building that's on its way for 2021, the new Pace Suburban bus building in Plainfield. This is a really exciting expansion. Pace has needed this space for some time. We're happy to see them reinvesting and spending money here in Will County. This will also support expansion of what has been an incredibly popular bus on shoulder express service. Certainly, we've seen a fall off with 2020 and ridership across their system, but that has been an important link for Will County workforce to the city of Chicago and back, we're happy to see reinvestment in that space and to see PACE come online. This is, I can't give enough credit to how much effort this took. And, the village of Plainfield and the city of Joliet working together and collaborating on a cross-border project. The leadership of those communities did a great job to make this a reality. This is a site that has been contemplated as development for some time. And it's not just a Costco, although the Costco has been amazingly busy. It opened, I think, November 11th, another day that's burned in my mind this year. And it's been wildly busy ever since. Really clever project, additional access out to Renwick Road. I know the county partnered on that, and that was great. Certainly a fun one to see how it expands and grows going forward, but a really exciting project for a regional development hub. Cardinal Health, this is a new lease in Channahon. It's the Venture One building in Crossroads 55. As we talk about 2020, again, we've continued to see this emphasis on health and on the supply chain. This building and this lease is really a project or a product of both of those two things. We see them doing interior build out if you travel down I-55 right now, and we look forward to them opening in the next year and serving the region. And if we're going to talk regional service, I think we've got a couple of really exciting public projects that are important for us to talk about, starting with the new Will County Courthouse. If you've been anywhere near downtown Joliet, you've seen this new courthouse. What a spectacular building and a reinvestment in the community. Credit to Will County and their team over the last several years for having the vision and wherewithal to put this together. And it's a beautiful new anchor in downtown Joliet. And we're so happy to see it open and see folks moving into that space. And while this building is quite literally visible for miles around, and I think you've seen it if you've been around town, you might not have seen another new building that the county opened this year, but is also incredibly important. Just a couple miles away, the County Health Department building opened. They have already begun to move into this facility. Just very exciting to see this up and running, expansion of services and modernization. And again, a message on the growth of Will County over the past several years and a county government positioning itself to provide great service to the residents going forward. So we're happy to see this as part of their ongoing capital plan and certainly exciting anchors for us as a community. The last project I want to touch on is one that hasn't quite broken ground yet. We expect a spring 2021 start. This is Lincoln Station Rowhomes in New Lenox, a planned 220 unit development. And for those of you who've been around a while, this is a project that has been with us for some time. Credit to Village of New Lenox and their staff for working hard to put this together over the last year or so. And, as we look at this, this is nestled right next to the metro station in New Lenox. And as we've talked about as a county, diversifying our housing stock, this is a great example of a wonderful way to do that. Diversifying our housing stock helps create economic resilience. And in a year like this, I think that's an important message. But also utilizing transit-oriented development helps us capitalize on our assets and meaningfully create a workforce that is mobile and here and positioned for the future.